Alright, welcome to another Total War replay on Napoleon 3. It is a mod for Empire Total War. Alright, today we have a 4v4. Can't remember the map's name, but we've got Kongi, TBA, and Friday playing alongside me. TBA was a random in our game, and Friday and Kongi and I are all three in Teams chat. So we'll go check out, I'll just do the Polish first. Friday, for the first time, I think is using the Poles. So he has a pretty large cav peeled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 cav. Guess you could type in that general right there, so that's 9. A little under what usual people play with Poles, but he has a pretty decent little infantry setup too, to kind of provide a base. He has these really good Fizzy, they're Z, light. I mean, they're basically light infantry for the Poles. Really good unit. I love using them. They're really good. Yeah, as your standard Ulans with the Poles as well. So this is his first time kind of running the Poles. And it's kind of an interesting little game for him. And up here we'll have the good old United States with Kongi. He's got some Massachusetts militia. That's going to go, I think, take our 4-pointer, make sure nothing happens back there. But he's got some first light dragoons. The American cav is pretty well. Are pretty cool, but they're not the greatest cav. They're cheap. You can probably get a bunch of them in one game, but they're not the greatest. You got the Kentucky mounted volunteers, are pretty sweet. Second light dragoons, it's like we saw them. The New Jersey dragoons, which are pretty awesome. First light dragoons, and then the Richard Johnson combat general for the Kentucky. Infantry-wise, he's got the Kentucky militia, 224 guys of skirmishers. He actually has a lot of the standard U.S. infantry, which is pretty good. Look at the old flag. Look at it fly. Nice. He's got some Massachusetts militia, some regular line. We'll probably see him a little better as the game moves on. Back here, we actually have the New Orleans militia, which, in all honesty, I kind of think that they're just a skin of the old guard from the vanilla game, but that's okay. And all the way back here, there's the 5th Maryland Volunteers. But all right here, we'll see them in action. And as they march is the, let's see, the Marines Leathernecks right here with their red ribbons. These are the Marines, small units, but a pretty cool unit. Next we'll go up. The game has started. We'll check out France, 1807 to 1814, Spain. He's got him a pretty standard line of some normal infantry. He's got a combat general, Anton Francis, and pretty much your standard line for the French. He's got a couple artillery pieces, 8-pounder and a 6-pounder it looks like. He's got some Shushas, Achevel, I mean these are Hussars, and some Royal Dragoons mixed in. He's got a couple more infantry, some Carabiners, they're pretty sweet, and some Polish Grenadiers. And over on this side, we've got some Hussars, some Cuirassiers, Dragoons, and some more Chasseurs Acheval. And up from my army, I am the 1809 to 1812 France. So since Friday had a larger contingent of cav, I went more of like a heavy build. So I have 2 Cuirassier units, pretty large. That's the Hussars, but these 2 right here. Where's the Dragoons? Where are my other Cuirassiers? Right here. Yep, right there. And then combat general with the Dragoons, pretty good. I'm taking Marmont as my general, and over here we just have a standard line of just a bunch of French guys. So nothing special with my line infantry. We are fighting Prussia. The way this map works is one army started here, one army started here, and one started behind and behind each other. And the Prussian on the other side started right here, while his buddies or his comrades started in the back. So up front, Friday's Kirkuzis are coming up. A little tidbit here: the Kirkuzi were actually a counter that Napoleon came up with to fight off Cossacks. They're basically Polish Cossacks. That supposedly worked pretty well. They kind of rode the smaller horses just like the Cossacks, and they kind of armed themselves with a lance just like them. But they're pretty cool unit if anybody wants the Kukuzi. Kukuzi, I hope I'm saying that right. But first up, we got Prussia, 1813, 1815. So they're going to have a big landwehr contingent most likely. We're fighting Russia, 1805, 1807. British United Kingdom, 1815. So that's the Waterloo, Great Britain. And then we have another 1805, 1807 Russia led by Levin von Bignickson. And then over here we have Romanov. So we spot out some pretty good cav. Probably should have taken advantage of this, but the Russian cav is already here. Well, kind of. These guys are most likely, these are Cossacks, so they are guerrilla deployed up front. Probably should have taken advantage of this. His cav should have definitely beat out this landwehr. I mean, these are landwehr lancers. They're nothing special. Pretty much when Napoleon kind of told the Germans and Prussians that they couldn't have so many units, they just started giving guys horses and lances and said, all right, you're part of the system now. Just to kind of keep a standard basis. Allies over here on the left have a large portion of cav coming up to face up against Bidningsing. But they are moving down this road towards a town. In this map, you have a 4-pointer here, a 4-pointer back there, like right back there, and then in the middle of the map is 3 1-pointers. It's actually kind of a cool map. So you're pretty much going to be fighting just right in the middle of the map. And we figured that the best option was to go for these 2 since they're the closest. We go for it. So as soon as Friday starts kind of moving forward, we start spotting dragoons. He actually has his 6-pounder. The 6-pounder for the Polish horse artillery is probably one of my favorite units in the game. Poles are already my favorite faction, but this unit is pretty awesome. But sadly, they are shooting at these guys over here, and they should be shooting at these Ulan or Landwehr Lancers. But I do have a horse artillery also coming up, 8-pounder. That's a unit I really do like a lot too, is the 8-pounder for the French horse artillery. But we do have cuirassiers approaching. I kind of told Friday I don't think his lancers would do very well enough for a fight against those, especially since he's charging uphill. Probably we should have set up right here. So if they wanted to come down, we could charge them downhill, but we don't need to charge uphill on them. Over here, the Russian player does have his own Cavalry Guard, so that's a really expensive unit, real good unit. More Ulan over here for Prussia, but Russia is stacking up its cav over on this side as well. So right now, we are scoring off a lot of cav right here. I'm actually going to bring over my other 3 cav units. I believe my other cuirassiers are coming over as well. Pretty much Friday's entire cav force is on this side, along with a majority of mine, especially my combat general, which is probably the most important, one of the most integral parts of the situation, and my cuirassiers. Let's see. Over here, we do have a fight. Looks like the Russian Hussars went over for a charge on the Voltigeurs, and the cuirassiers are actually engaging with the Cavalry Guard. So we actually have a big charge. Kanji, need you get your cav in there, dude. Don't lose out. Come on. Help him out. The cuirassiers have been routed, which is not any good because Kanji doesn't have the greatest cav to go against the Cavalry Guard. So it's not going to go really well for him. His cav is, though, beating the Hussars, it looks like, Pavlograd and the other Hussars. My 8-pounder up here is setting up and taking pot shots. As you see, more cav. The dragoons are going on the right. It looks like the Cavalry Guard are going in on some French infantry, the Carabiners and stuff. But the French cav from TBA is moving in to help the United States cav. They did route that. A lot of cav forming up on the right. My cav is finally arriving. My infantry columns are coming down the road to form up into the town. And Prussia has a ton of infantry. They are all landwehr though. So several thousand infantry units, infantry soldiers in the town. But here we do have a square off here. I'm trying to move my guys behind, kind of act as a blocker. I have these guys here to fight anything here, and moving these two to fight over here, along with some hussars to watch my artillery. But the Poles do have some infantry here. Polish infantry is not the greatest, but they're not war winners, but I don't think they're as bad as most people would say. Especially these, the light infantry for them, they're really good. And they do have some good units, but they're kind of expensive. But they don't form squares often. So the cav fight on the left has kind of gone in favor of kind of anybody. French have lost a few units, but the Russians have lost a few too. And look right here, look at this. Look at this cav fight we're about to probably have. Spoiler alert. But Friday has his, I think what he had 9. He had 9 cavalry on this side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cavalry on this side as well. We are going up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cav. So right now it's 15 cav versus 16 cav. It is a huge, huge engagement. These are all, and there's one more. So I mean, there's more popping up now. Let's see if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, we're still the same number. Just a huge engagement. Oh, another one popped up. Those are some guard hussars. See right here, we kind of have a standoff, but all this calves, they're coming downhill. So this is the point where we've got to go in. He backs off, Friday backs off. We don't want to engage that going uphill, but it's too late. They've already caught, so it's time we just got to go in. He gets charged on the side by the dragoons. Poles are losing out there. He does get a good charge on these dragoons. I need to block off my artillery piece here. My cuirassiers are going for the middle fight, but they need to go over here. Look at all these units. This is a massive, massive cav fight. My hussars are going to go in on the Ulan over here. My dragoon commander and combat general did get engaged, but he kind of, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. He kind of got engaged, but then backed off. My main cuirassiers, I've gotten into the fight on the flank. Friday needed to keep those guys in, but this is a huge, huge fight. His poles form squares. My soldiers are losing out. I got my general trying to just keep up with everything. My general does recharge. He does have his poles chasing him. My cuirassiers are just fighting right now. It's 2 of our units versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and one of them is the cuirassiers for the Russians. But we do kind of break in the middle. He does get some lancers. These are actually the Totenkopf guys. These guys are cool with their death's head. Look at that. On their mustaches of glory. Should have loaded my artillery when the fight happened, but we didn't. He's got his lancers going on to defend my artillery piece. But we've mostly routed most of their infantry. I mean their cavalry. The fight is over still. My general is coming up. So these guys are still fighting. We have devastated these guys. Oh, whoa, I'm on fast. Has devastated. These guys went out against all of them. Trying to get my combat general to go after Constantine. His C9 could have probably. Oh, his C9 still lived. Daggum. But my cuirassiers there are exhausted. He still had these Totenkopf hussars. Looks like the fight over here. We are engaging with the Cavalry for the Russians against the Americans and the Hussars. Kanji going in with the side charge. Was he going to get a good rear charge? Is he? Yeah. Kind of a rear charge. Kind of. Oh, he goes for the general, actually. Bendingson. But see, that rear charge and going after the general has caused the Cavalry to kind of have a reaction and kind of break their morale. His Kentucky Mounted go against the Streltsy here, or Strelki. General is still going after. Oh, the British have shown up though. A lot of hussars, dragoon guards, real tough units. rear charge from these guys into the cavalry guard, and they end up breaking them. That's a big, big win. Oh, look at the Russian columns coming down. But the King's Dragoons are in the area. The fight over here has kind of ended up. Massive win, but man, was it a hard fought little cav battle. Like, look just right here with the Cuirassiers and all those units were like, that's a ton. That's a lot of Polish, though. You can see them with the blue. I guess those are blankets under the saddles. But what that did allow is this artillery for the Russian does take the hill. I mean, most of our stuff was exhausted and tired, so I mean, we couldn't pursue much further. A lot of his infantry is up here. But it does look like the Dragoon Guards going in. They do rout the Hussars. Kanji did get his cavalry out, so he still has a good contingent of cavalry on this side, but they'll get beat by the Dragoon Guards. The Guards, the Royals, they're just, this is a really good unit, real tough unit. And he even got his light horse. I have moved into the town along with Friday. Some of his infantry is pushing up. Friday did end up losing his general. Those Totenkopf actually broke off a couple of our units, but man, they were really good. Really good unit. One of my Cuirassiers is very tired. The other one is exhausted. So I'm moving up most of my line, trying to push out these guys. In this town, he just has some Hussars, but in this house, you can't see him now, but he has some Jaeger, some Liebjäger. So basically, they're guard Jaeger, and they are actually hurting on my guys from the house. But we are indeed putting the whooping on his guys. Did you see the Russian has formed up? We don't have enough, and at this point, I didn't really know what they were doing on the left. They did a real good fight here, kind of beat off the Cav, but we could have pushed right in and beat a lot of this landwehr, but I think they were nervous about the Russian, because the Russian does have a large contingent over here, and the British are forming up on the flank. But this artillery right here just was not our friend. These Lancers are very tired, so I mean, they're not in the best respect, and they do have one unit of landwehr. But see, they're too slow going up this hill. We probably should have pulled back and hid them and just kept them in reserve, but he does get up there. It does break some Liebjäger. So these are some more Jaeger. Or maybe these aren't like, I think they have the 115 range. I think that's what it means. But man, that artillery, point blank range, cutting down. Prussians do form a square with some grenadiers. So these guys do end up breaking 62 out of 121. They should come back if they haven't broken yet, or if they don't lose any more. Hopefully they do come back. That's a good unit. I think that's the yes, the third Elan. Third Elan were one of the better cav units for the Poles. I think like the third, the 8th, and the 2nd were the best. The Hussars for the Poles were probably some of the best that they had during the Napoleonic. Right here, the 13th. Check them out. Boom! They look good. There's sabers. They do come in. They do take out this Prussian artillery, though. So they had 3 batteries up here of 4 guns each. But luckily, Friday was able to get the Hussars up in here and take them out. Love the uniforms of Hussars. He does break them, but he did end up cutting down a lot of them there. So try to tell him that he needs to push up on that square. See the middle right here. I am kind of putting a whooping on most of these landwehr in the town. I do have my Cuirassiers trying to kind of rest a little bit. My Dragoon Combat General is standing behind here trying to give him, I think he's like 4 stars, so he was trying to give some combat bonuses to those guys. The Russians have disappeared for the most part. Did see them coming down this road, but they have disappeared. The British have been spotted here, but it looks like they are pulling back. British artillery, I think, is right here, and maybe some Prussian or British artillery there. But Gneisenau is coming to the town to try and rally the Prussians. At this point, I did see an opening with my calves. I'm going to route my cav to about right here. Kind of let them rest up a little bit. But most of these units, these landwehr can't form square except for the, which one is it? They're, yeah, not right there. They got one that can form square, pretty large unit. Friday is trying to move up with his poles, but the only thing is that this artillery is just draining down on him, raining down all the firepower. And he can't really do anything about it. He has a few good units, but what's left of his cav force is just these Ulani, 30 Ulani, and then he actually lost his general, but his cav unit is still. I love the Zapka. Man, the Polish look good. They look good. I also like the Russians in this game. They look great. Well, not these. These are the 1807, 1805, 1807. My favorite Russians are the Patriotic War Russians. I think they look good with their caps. Oh, but check out these units. Just a massive skirmisher unit of Kentucky militia. Just raining it in. I don't know how many kills they got. I can't remember. I think Kanji told me, but they did work. We've got TBA's artillery. I think these are, what are these? 6-pounders? 8-pounders. They are throwing in some dirt or some rounds into the Prussians as well. Resting up those infantry. They did back off. This house was causing a lot of problems. This is Mikhail Solniki with his Caesar unit. He's a really good combat general for the. As you see right there, flying, great unit for the Poles. Right there, that artillery from that hill is just devastating, and he's getting flanked by the Russians right now. But right now, our fight in the town is going okay. I don't have any grenadiers, which is probably a bad thing, because I probably could have taken this house a little earlier. The Kentucky militia, though, is holding out. Look at that. That's just an enormous amount of guys in skirmish mode. Or light infantry. Check them out. They look good. But looks like the British are actually... Oh, the Russians are right here now. A couple units. We need to be scouting this area out, trying to figure out where they are. Looks like the French player is moving back over his units. Looks like he was trying to get them around, but now he's going to have to move them back. Fight is not going well over here for the Poles. This unit is just taking a beating, just clear shot. Gosh. Probably should have pushed up some French in this area here to try and flank. But my guys in the town are cutting them, and here we go. Open up a gap for my cuirassiers. We're gonna do a charge. They've freshened up. They've gotten wrapped back into the engagement. And we're going to start cutting them down. This is when I'm going to move up my infantry as quick as I can. Gneisenau comes in to try and reinforce. Give them some confidence. So Russia has set up here. But right now, see, Kanji has his units all on the outline when he could push in. If they're going to allow themselves to be pulled into this way, we can come in around and flank. Rushing my Frenchmen to push this area, try to break these guys. My general is going to move over. French are seeing this right here, kind of push up. TBA is moving units over. And the Kentucky militia are duking it out. Man, they've done a pretty good piece of damage. So broke those guys. Gonna try and get in the flank here with my cuirassiers. This unit is still not ready. We're gonna rush these guys in. Cuirassiers look dope. They're gonna push in. I think this unit may have been shooting my guys in the back, may be causing some issues, but I guess I pay him back later, which is not good. Start moving my French over this way. Try to get Friday to pull back some. These guys are back exhausted. Gonna bayonet charge these Ostrupen, or not Ostrupen, but Ostpruppen. I guess these are from the Ost, kind of east of Prussia. Landwehr. His artillery is coming in though, and actually that's starting to chain route these guys. That take a hit there, they rout. But over here we have the Lieb Grenadiers have moved over. charging my line infantry, which is not very good. But right now we have a pretty good fight going. Cuirassiers are still going at it. 40 of the 93 men are still around. We are slowly pushing up. French player there is pushing to the left. We need to keep backing up because we're just not. This artillery right here is just killing it. Again, props to you for sitting up there with the artillery and not letting it fall, because it is holding down that whole flank. Leave Grenadier, but I did not even see this at all over the confusion and everything. But the Brits arrived and I had no idea. I saw the Dragoon guards come in, but I didn't notice the foot guards. Oh, they look just, wow, good unit. They look good. I couldn't find my word. So the Dragoon guards are in the fight. My guys finally freshened up. So I'm going to have to throw these guys in to see if I can counter these these British player and his calf. Because I did not know. He moved up these guys. He's moved up the Black Watch. Look at their kilts. He's moved up them to take in the house. I ended up actually getting a unit in the house. And they were actually winning against the Jaeger. But as you can see, he's got Highland Foot just sitting right there. So the fight has actually turned back in favor of the other team with the arrival of the British. I didn't even know. I thought the Cav was here. But as you can see right here, the foot guards actually formed square. I didn't even know they were in here forming square. I thought it was just the Cav. My Cuirassiers are still going at it. But the Russian player is arriving. The British player, they've all swept over. He does get charged by some the King's Irish Hussars. Which finally does, that unit just was wreaking havoc. Still the artillery up here is still just dominating us. I did get a charge off with my combat general on this flank right here. Did take out one unit, but right here we are struggling due to the arrival of the British. The house is sadly going to be lost because the Black Watch has been thrown in against my line infantry. My line infantry will not beat that. So my attack did end up failing with the arrival of reinforcements. It was going very much in my favor, but it was short-lived, to say the least. Oh, look at Kanji. Kanji actually came in and sniped out the 12-pounder here. And he actually goes in for the other Russian along with the artillery. I think he was a general. So he got the general and he got 2 artillery pieces. So he took out both Russian 12-pounders on this flank. And he is starting to pull back pull his units into the town as well. Friday is still fighting the good fight. I have pulled back most of my units in the town because I have no business fighting against the foot guards. These are 2 units of foot guards. Fighting against any of those guys or that Black Watch with my line infantry. So at the moment we are back at a stalemate until we could possibly crush this left flank here. Kangi does have the most cav really amongst us. Only 2 cav I have are my Cuirassiers are still in action, and then my combat general is actually over here on the far right. What did you see right now? We formed up. We're where we want to be. They do have the one locale location here, LOC here, but they do not have this one. But we do have that one since they are forming up. But they do have the heights with the artillery, which is really ruining us. Over here, Queen's Hussars are going for the charge. I actually did seeing this. And his units did stop, but I did get a charge going in with my Dragoons. This is a tough fight, close fight. I was really nervous, and I do break them. That was a good dub. Good dub. That Dragoon unit, first time ever using them. Really good unit. Get Friday to pull back. But right now, the British have caused a lot of problems. French and Americans are showing up on the left flank. Kentucky militia going at it still. Russians do perform a charge. Was this grenadiers? Not just regular musketeers. They do end up getting broken though, but they will come back, I think, if they don't lose any more units. Here we go. We can look at the Marines. I think these are Marines. Yep, the leathernecks. Better look at them. That looks sweet. Great melee unit, kind of like a grenadier. New Orleans Militia, 5th Maryland, and some regular. Actually, these are French. Here's some regular line infantry from the Americans. The regular line infantry from the Americans are actually really good, or they're pretty good for an infantry unit. It's just they're small in number. Here we have the guards of the Dragoons pushing up. They decided that they weren't going to go for that. Kanji does get his guys to go in, but they are actually taking a lot of shots. They're going to try and skedaddle over to the 21st, but they are taking a lot of shots from the surrounding units. They've lost a lot of men. They were just at like 100 until they got engaged that line infantry unit. Do they form square? There's no way. Okay. Sometimes that's the one thing. Some squares from form, but right here, I did not really even know. But this artillery was battering these cuirassiers, and I didn't even know it. And they just routed them. They just routed them. It's frustrating. That was our biggest unit and our strongest unit of cav still left in the field, and it just gets routed by artillery. Not even paying attention to it. Just, But see, now that unit is free to roam. And Kanji is really the only one that still has cav, and I still have my Dragoon General up there. We are starting to break. I think maybe at this point, the British player did leave the game or drop. So every time one of the computer or a real player drops, you do have the AI possibly push up. And I mean, the British player, all hope is not lost, even though they lost that one player. But he does push up. I mean, he's got really good units in the town. King's German Legion are really good. Where'd his there's a really good, the first roll foot Pontius Pilates guards. Pilate, I don't remember how you say that word. Really good unit. See, right now they're charging, they're getting in the our face. Nothing to say the least of being a bad unit or being a bad strategy. Russian player does screwed up too, come up, but that artillery is still, and this guy is fully content with just sitting his whole army up here pretty much and shelling us, which I don't really blame him. Do a cav charge here, kind of try and cut down, try to squeeze through, but he just lines them up, and it's just a little hard to get in there. Kanji does have his cav still on the flank, going against the Prussian player. He has his main line of troops. His leathernecks are heading towards the town to try and use their melee though. And the Kentucky militia, did they break? One of them break? Where's? Nope, they're right there. That unit still has 184. That one has 116 of 224 guys. Reform the lines, going against the Russians and the British in the town. TBA does a bayonet charge. Looks like these guys, they've lost a pretty good amount. They're about half strength. Russians hold the biggest contingent right now in the town, and Kanji comes in with a rear charge. Breaks off with that. He does kill the general there. So the German general is dead. Cav charge. These guys did not form square. The only unit formed square was these musketeers. He goes straight past them. And then that's it. Once you start getting the Prussians going on routing, it's a done deal for them. This is the moment Kanji just push up right here, push up, and start trying to engage anything else with the bayonet or try and get in firing range of these reserve musketeers. The British are in full retreat though through the town, and the Russians are soon behind, hopefully. Still, the only big problem that we have is this artillery on this hill is still bashing Friday's infantry in. Still just bashing them. As you can see, we've originally we were right here forming up. Now we've kind of L'd them in a little more. The Russians have formed up with a lot of their units facing outwards, and some of their, so they got a little box going on right now, with the house being an anchor. He has some Schleichjäger, I guess from Silesia, maybe. Friday is going to try and attempt another push on the hill with his boys, but they are still getting just wrought with artillery. There's my boy. Gene Rapp is still in the fight. I'm going to try and run down some of these guys because I don't want any of these guys to come back because they're still at 208, 142. They'll still come back to the fight. Kanji's boys are coming up on them, and they're just going to bayonet them as they run. Poor guys. Just bust them up. Mainly all their artillery. The left flank has collapsed, or our left is fully committed to the fight and engaging them and wrestling the Prussians down. And now all we need to do is wrestle the town away from the Russians here, and then we have to deal with the Russians on the hill. And that random unit of King's Irish Hussars are still just running around. I mean, this is the AI. The AI is literally going for kills on the infantry that are running away. You see Kangi is pushing up, not Kangi, Friday, I keep forgetting their names, or their armies. Pushing up, but the artillery is still just bashing in Friday. He took the worst part of it. He did. The Leathernecks do go for a charge, so they are getting down in and dirty with the Russians. They're going okay. The only thing is the Marines have a very small unit, though, 67 guys. It's a very small unit, so you really only could use them in situations where melee kind of is their only thing, or a charge, because in a gunfight they don't have enough. But he sends in the other unit, try and break. So that other Russian unit does end up breaking. We are in final moments here. Going to kind of fast forward a little bit. This French player here of TBA is starting to hit in shots. But the Grenadiers are still in the house, and I don't want to really deal with that. And he has Grenadiers. The Russian player has Grenadiers on the side. I'm starting to move up some of my units. Friday's units are getting devastated by this artillery. It's almost like a Pickett's charge almost. Just you got to get up there on that hill to try and silence those guns, and they just can't get it done. I can't blame them. 8 6-pounders aiming down your throat is going to kind of stop you. But he does have this one unit of Pizzeria Lightswitsitsi. How do you recall them? Light infantry. They are still going on. Such a good unit for the Poles, infantry-wise. We are starting to push up. Kanji is pushing his units into the town, starting to cut down anything trying to escape. British player still has one player unit out there. Friday still has some units coming back. We do a charge right here, trying to break some of the Russians. Gene Rapp finally does break. We do not end up breaking anything, but keeping them busy does allow for me to get a couple units up there. And the light infantry for the Friday is still pushing up. TBA does get some units into the house, duking it out with the Grenadiers and the Lead Grenadiers, I believe. Yep. So we are duking it out. Let's see. Kanji does have his Leathernecks approaching the area. And he's going to try and get them to the house, but they're basically Grenadiers. They'll finish them off. These are in the our enemy opponents are in the death throes. As you see here, Friday still has 2 units trying to push up the hill. But look, they've aimed. Come on, just charge. Break the distance. Guns are not accurate enough in this game to really devastate. There you go. Get up the hill. Go. Go. Oh, canister shot. Gosh. Canister shot. Nobody gets back up after canister. Nobody gets up. Devastating. The buck and ball of the 5th Maryland Volunteers are, well, actually, I don't know if they have the buck and ball, but they're pushing in. The New Orleans Militia are coming in with their bear skins, bear fur hats. I think all my French units on the hill did end up getting broken. The New Jersey Dragoons are moving in on these musketeer. My units are all pushing up, and so are Congi's remaining units. The light infantry. This is the last unit that Friday has on the field. These boys done their best. Such a good uniform too, with the gold and the blue. Solid unit. Hello, no, some of my French have crossed paths. No, no. This is the last foothold. The New Orleans Militia are in melee, duking it out. I see this and try to get my general up here to try and give a boost to these guys. So if we could break that, it's 2 units of Russian down. All right, one down, one down. And here comes the rest of my Frenchies. And again, still just these guys. He's loading it up. It's not looking good. This ended up being the hardest point to contest was this hill the entire game. But his New Orleans militia does break the Russians here, and his guys are just going to point blank range into all the Russians there. Do get a bayonet charge off. They stop, and luckily they didn't shoot anything. So I don't know what those guys did. They had their melee stance on, and they still didn't charge. So it's pretty much done. Wrapping up here. We've kind of beat them. Finally, Peter has a unit right there. It was a really fun game, really fun game. The Cav fight here was insane. I mean, that was more than 20 units of Cav engaged in one little area. Just a ton of Cav. We finally do break the last of the Russians on the hill. So all we have to worry about is this one unit here, which is not going to make it. They're taking shots from 2 Marine and the 17th line, and also a French incomparable, which are a really good unit. So all we have to deal with is this British unit over there, which we don't really have any cav to deal with it because it's all dead. Ganji lost his last cav, but our last TBA does have a unit of Social Surveil that he's been watching his artillery with. So he will send it over and try to finish off the last British player. Or I guess it's the computer now, it's the AI. But it was a really fun match, good game to all these guys. This sucks about the drop. I don't know if he left or the game just dropped in, because sometimes this game can be pretty finicky with drops, but it was a super, super fun game. Fully enjoyed it. It's kind of like the first time that Kanji Friday and I kind of got to play together and actually have a pretty art game. They're still new to the mod, which plays a lot more different than the vanilla. But as always, it was just a good chance, an opportunity to kind of showcase the game a little bit, showcase the factions, and kind of showcase them playing with me. It was a fun game. Like I said, none of us are great. But it's just fun to kind of do videos and kind of play this game and kind of show it off. Prussian player had a lot of kills. British player had low, but he had a small army, but a pretty good army. General Krabs, I don't know, it was Revan may have been, no, General Krabs was the guy on the hill with the artillery bashing us down. Ended up with 1989. Kanji coming in at 1907. Good stuff. Looking at the units, I had some pretty good line units coming in there. And my Cuirassiers did great work. 266, 207. Just great stuff. Artillery didn't last very long. Gene Rat with his Dragoons did great. And then infantry did well all around. But it was a fun match. Hope you enjoyed. If you have Total War, if you have Napoleon, they're great games. You have Napoleon, try to get that mod, or this mod. It's pretty dope. Try to grow this community. It's a pretty fun game. Love it, all the factions. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you you don't like it, I'd rather you not leave a dislike. I'd rather you tell me what's wrong, or if you just don't like me, then just tell me you don't like me. That's cool too. But um, always prefer criticism or helpful criticism than just straight up dislike. But all right, thanks for watching, and can't wait till the next one.